Hi, my name is Martina Sykes, and you're watching Graduate Spotlight at Cinema Makeup School. I was in the effects track at CMS, and I was in LA for 8 months taking classes. I decided to enroll at Cinema Makeup School because I was a working makeup artist in Chicago. I was in the union, so I was working on some pretty cool stuff, but I was not getting a chance to learn more makeup effects, and I really wanted to seek out the best education I could, so I knew I had to come to LA. Being in LA gave me access to industry events. It gave me the time to reach out to makeup artists that maybe I was acquainted with and meet them for coffee. That was a big part of it for me, is being here and being immersed. When I first decided that I was going to come to CMS, I had several things to overcome or to work through. I was already working in my field in Chicago, so I had to take a break from my career in order to further my career, which sounds counterintuitive, but it was really one of the best things I could do. I also have a home and my husband in Chicago, so we were apart for those 8 months, and it was definitely challenging, but we would travel back and forth. So I did not realize that makeup was a career for me until I graduated with my BFA in Chicago. And I was always an artist. My parents always encouraged art. We went to museums, we painted. It was just a part of my life. So I knew I would be an artist one way or the other. When I realized that makeup was an art form, I just started going for it full force. Working as a makeup artist really is a dream come true. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it, without a doubt, but I'm really fortunate that I work with a lot of people who feel the same way as me, which is we'll be on certain jobs or doing certain types of makeup, and it's like a pinch me moment. It's really exciting to have the kind of work where you feel that Christmas morning excitement about your job. When I was living in Chicago and just getting started as a makeup artist, I found out about the union, and I was given some direction as to how you could kind of get your foot in the door. And one of those things was reaching out to department heads. I ended up doing a couple days on Chicago Fire, and from there I got more days, got into the union, and then was hired full-time. So some of the projects that I've gotten to work on in my career have been, well, Chicago Fire, of course. I did an indie out here called Pink Skies Ahead that was fantastic. I worked on a Steven Soderbergh movie called No Sudden Move in Detroit. I went to New Jersey and got to work on some zombies in Army of the Dead. And then I got to go to New Orleans for 3 months and work on The Thing About Pam. Almost all of those jobs, almost all of the best shows I've been on have been through word of mouth. It's all about working with people and having a good connection, and then they say, I'm going to hire you again. Sometimes it's years later, but if you make a good impression, people are not going to forget. My process for developing a character generally begins with research. So for example, I did a movie that was set in the mid-90s, and I started with a lot of research from my personal life. I was a teenager in the 90s, so I had lots of pictures. I know what kind of makeup my friends and I did on each other. So I collected all of that, and then images of celebrities, popular culture from the time, put that sort of together in a book or in a file on my computer. And then from there, I'll take headshots of the actors and actresses, and I can kind of overlay makeups to see how they would look. And I'll do the same thing for makeup effects too. If I'm doing even just minor cuts and bruises, I'll sort of do that with my rudimentary Photoshop skills. It happens to everybody. You go through a phase where you're not working much and you can't figure it out, just having a slow period. And instead of getting discouraged, you really have to pull yourself up. And I think the best way to do that is to go back to what inspired you to begin with. The movies you loved, the TV shows you loved. We all have a library of makeup books that we started buying, magazines. Go back through all your old makeup magazines. There are so many things in there that are going to re-inspire you. I also think that it's a really good idea to try other art forms. I personally love to oil paint. I think painting, drawing, sculpting, all of those mediums are going to help you be a better makeup artist. Even if it doesn't seem like it directly relates, it really does, especially when it comes to color theory. Definitely as a kid, I was totally into Beetlejuice, weren't we all? I loved stuff like The Princess Bride. Later, I was a little older, but I mean, Pan's Labyrinth, I think, inspired so many of us. The Pale Man was really terrifying and really beautifully done. I'm personally really inspired by, I think we can all agree, are kind of the greats, which would be Dick Smith, Rick Baker, Stan Winston, and then now contemporary artists like Kazu, Aryan, Greg Canham, Lois Burwell, Vivian Baker. There are so many. There are so many really brilliant artists working today, and they just kind of keep pushing the limits of what you can do. I'm the most inspired by really beautiful likeness makeups and a lot of really subtle makeups. I appreciate horror and gore and all these big theatrical things, but for me personally, what I get excited about and inspired by are likeness makeups. So for example, just about anything that Kazu does is beautiful and brilliant. Aryan did this brilliant makeup on a 9-year-old boy for the film Wonder, all prosthetics. It was the marriage of art and engineering, and it was just one of the greatest things I'd ever seen. So those are the types of makeups that I really love to see, and I just love to look at. We love to be tricked by likeness makeups like that. Your reputation and professionalism is of the utmost importance. It really is. This is a really fun job and it's a really exciting world to live in, but it is a job, and being professional at all times is pretty important. You never know who somebody is or how they feel about something. So you're at work, you're going to have a lot of fun. You're always going to have a lot of fun, but being professional is really important. You have to have a resume and you should have a website. I think it's part of that professionalism aspect. A lot of people use social media, and that's great because we're all over it. But having a stable, solid website that's just dedicated to you, your work, and your experience is a really good thing for people to see. My resume I made myself just through years of trial and error. I kind of like to advise people to keep it to one page. I think it's nice when it's simple and it really showcases your best work. Same thing goes for your website. You should show your best work. And it's nice to have your resume on your website so that if someone's short on time, which we're all short on time, you can just send that to a producer and say, here you go. This is everything you want to know about me. Do not worry about anybody else's journey. Worry about yourself. Not even worry about yourself, but focus on yourself and don't be intimidated by where anybody else is. I would also say be patient and professional. Again, just emphasize professionalism and being patient and persistent. And I would also say following what you're really interested in. It's good to be well-rounded, but where your curiosity lies is where you're probably going to be the strongest. Your artistry is going to be stronger where you're really interested. When I was in school, I treated every assignment or every class like it was a job. I gave it that much importance. And so even though I was still having fun and trying things, I treated it professionally, and that's just something that I've kept doing throughout my career. I recommend that everybody be really present in your classes. Enjoy every moment of it. Enjoy the experience of being a student, of being in Los Angeles. Be kind to everybody. Be professional. It'll get you really far. I think my favorite part about being a student here is that it was total immersion. And again, going from being a working makeup artist to taking a break and then dedicating myself to school was again kind of like a gift to myself. You know, all I had to do for those months was come here and learn and soak up as much as I possibly could. So coming back and being here a few years later is a really great reminder that what I did was worth it, and it was a great experience.